Yo, what is going on guys, Flashverse here and welcome back to another video on Superman and Lois, and this will be a theory video in regards to how Kyle Cushing could potentially get exposed to X-Kryptonite and become an evil Kryptonian or an evil Superman. So yeah, we had a lot of things going down in Superman and Lois over the past couple of episodes, such as Jordan Kent and him having that Superboy setup, with him trying to control his powers and with us exploring more of his abilities and the struggles he's been facing as a half Kryptonian. We obviously had some very cool Superman and John Henry Irons moments. We had some more backstory on Captain Luthor or John Henry Irons and what things were like on his Earth and how he ended up on Earth Prime in the first place. And I really liked how they tied in Crisis on Infinite Earths to that, with us supposedly seeing the antimatter wave during episode 8. We obviously had some very cool Lois moments as well, in which last episode she really stood out and we had that tragic twist with her character and her miscarriage. But arguably the most interesting of all, that being the whole Morgan Edge mystery with X-Kryptonite and that whole Kryptonian army which he has been building and planning. But yeah, honestly guys, so far Superman and Lois is without a doubt the best DC TV show this year. The whole storyline is just so gripping and so amazing. I can't wait to see what they have for us throughout the back half of the season. Due to the direction this show has been going and some new storylines which have been added from last week's episode, I wanted to do a theory video talking about Kyle Cushing and how he could potentially become an evil version of Superman, or just be an evil Kryptonian in general through being exposed to X-Kryptonite. But before I go over anything, however, you guys don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way. So yeah, throughout the show thus far we found out that Morgan Edge has pretty much been conducting test subjects so that he could expose them to a new version of Kryptonite that he has discovered earlier on in the season, that being X-Kryptonite, and so far all but one, that being Leslie Lar, have rejected the X-Kryptonite. But essentially we have been suspicious that Morgan Edge has pretty much been planning on building an army of Kryptonians to destroy the world or take control. Now during episode 7 we obviously had Lana Lang shortlisting a couple of candidates for a job, in which we obviously know it's just to build an army of X-Kryptonite Kryptonians, but so far she doesn't exactly know what Morgan Edge is up to. All she knows is that there is something dirty within Morgan Edge and she's helping Lois Lane investigate what it is. But yeah, during episode 8 we found out that everything that has happened on John's world is pretty much happening on Earth Prime. The only thing which is missing is Superman becoming evil. But yeah, Morgan Edge has been gathering troops of X-Kryptonite soldiers and eventually destroy Metropolis, with supposedly Superman joining the side of Kryptonians after Morgan Edge has fulfilled his mission in bringing these X-Kryptonite soldiers to life, and with them not rejecting the X-Kryptonite. But during episode 8 we also found out that people who have been exposed to X-Kryptonite aren't themselves. Well, it was mentioned earlier on in the season when, I think it was episode 5, when the guy blew himself up and he said like he's not in control or something along those lines. But Superman mentioned it to Samuel Lane that people who have been exposed to X-Kryptonite aren't really themselves. Essentially X-Kryptonite are pretty much dead Kryptonians, and once exposed onto a test subject they are pretty much out of control and the Kryptonian takes most of the control with the other person's memories, I guess. It's kind of like, you know, Killer Frost, for example, for those who watch The Flash, in which, as I said, Morgan Edge is pretty much gathering a couple of test subjects because so far everyone besides Leslie Lar have rejected the X-Kryptonite, and he needs more people like Leslie Lar so that they do not reject the X-Kryptonite and pretty much become Morgan Edge's pet. Now, last episode, one very pivotal moment was a conversation between Leslie Lar as well as Kyle Cushing, in a sense that Leslie made up this lie saying that Kyle supposedly got offered the job from Morgan Edge, but he rejected the offer. And this was very troubling for Kyle because he is a massive believer and follower of Morgan Edge, and he would have wanted nothing but to just work side by side with him. We have seen that on the show. He really wants a job right next to Morgan Edge. And obviously when he found out about this, he went to confront Lana. Yeah, the relationship between them has been dwindling throughout the season. But what could potentially happen is that in a future episode, Kyle would go and speak to Morgan Edge and try to get that job offer back. Although he never got it in the first place, it was just a lie made up by Leslie Lar, which is supposedly part of Morgan Edge's plan in the first place, but maybe he, either by will, through the manipulation of Morgan Edge, or by force, is taken to that chamber of X-Kryptonite experimentation, and maybe one of the test subjects which Morgan Edge experiments on is Kyle Cushing, and maybe he is someone else who doesn't show rejection, just like Leslie Lar. He is someone who just bonds with the X-Kryptonite. And the thing with this is, he is now Kryptonian with someone else's identity pretty much. Now, one thing which could be very interesting is, could the X-Kryptonite which Kyle becomes exposed to be the one for Superman on John Henry Irons' Earth? I know it's pretty far-fetched, but let me explain. So during episode 8, we saw how John Henry Irons ended up on Earth Prime, where he was facing off against his version of Superman, that being the evil Dark Superman, and suddenly we had that wave of antimatter hitting, and it hit them both. We already know that John Henry Irons is alive after that, as we have literally seen him on the show, but we don't know what happened with evil Superman. He's either alive or dead. I'll probably do another theory video about that later on, but maybe he died, and one of the X-Kryptonite which Morgan Edge has belongs to that Superman, and that would be the one which Kyle gets exposed to. I think that would be pretty cool, as it would be a lot more motivating for John Henry Irons to find out that the murderer of his wife is still out there and he's on Earth Prime but just taking over someone else's body. But if it isn't evil Superman, he would just be exposed to some version of a Kryptonian either way. So he would still be an evil Kryptonian who works for Morgan Edge. And I also believe that seeing an evil Kryptonian, Kyle Cushing, would be a very integral catalyst for his character as well, saying that he so far is like a very strong believer in Morgan Edge. He's always like for Morgan Edge, and he keeps defending him whenever Lois goes anti-Morgan Edge against him. And with all this destruction he would cause as an evil Kryptonian working for Morgan Edge and just continuously get manipulated by him, he would be conflicted with himself and the Kryptonian in his body to take back control and basically to do what's right. And if by the end of the season Kyle is able to get rid of the Kryptonian in his body, I think it would be very cool to see that regret and guilt within him for believing in this manipulative villain and basically look like a fool. But also I think it would be a very interesting storyline for him in season 2 if obviously he doesn't end up dying and does end up surviving and basically just gets rid of that evil Superman or that evil Kryptonian within his system. Personally, for me, I think this would be very cool to see. I do think it could potentially happen. Now, there was also an episode in Smallville where Lana Lang temporarily had powers. Obviously, it's a whole different storyline, but you know, bringing in the idea of Lana Lang potentially having powers could be very interesting for this show as well, because it could potentially end up being Lana who is exposed to X-Kryptonite, which could also be pretty cool to see. But personally, I think it would be a better fit for Kyle Cushing to be the one who takes that position and basically be exposed to X-Kryptonite. So yeah, I am predicting that by the end of the season, we will have Captain Luthor or John Henry Irons. I don't know why, I'm just still used to calling him Captain Luthor. But we'll either have John Henry Irons as well as Superman, maybe Jordan as well, who knows. But mostly Superman and John Henry Irons teaming up together to face off Morgan Edge and his Kryptonian army. So yeah, I think that Morgan Edge is officially like the big bad of the season, not John Henry Irons. I think John Henry Irons will eventually become Steel and be a good guy who works alongside Superman. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think about this theory, or if you guys have any other theories, be sure to tell them in the comment section down below. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.